Welcome to Bunny Trails, a whimsical adventure of idioms and other turns of phrase. I'm Dan Pugh.
And I'm Shauna Harrison. Each week, we take an idiom or other turn of phrase and try to tell the story from its entry into the English language to how it's used today. Welcome to another quick Quips episode where we look at phrases that, for whatever reason, don't fit into our regular format. This time, we're taking a spoonful of sugar to help the medicine go down.
I assume this is from the song in Mary Poppins, and I sure hope so. But if it's not, it'll be really interesting to learn because I love that movie and I had a crush on Julie Andrews, even though, she's like, 30 years my senior. But still, I just wanted her to be my babysitter, my nanny, my mom, and everything else.
Nice. Spoonful of sugar is an idiomatic expression that means a small amount of something pleasant helps to make a difficult situation more tolerable. So, believe it or not, this phrase seems to have truly originated with the popular song Spoonful of Sugar from the 1964 Disney film Mary Poppins.
That is cool. I love it.
Robert and Richard Sherman were the songwriters for the film, and they had been struggling to find songs that really landed. Well, one day, Robert's son Jeffrey came home from school and shared his experience receiving the polio vaccine. He told his father that it wasn't so bad as they gave him a little cup with a sugar cube in it, dropped the medicine in, and told him to eat it.
So this is, I guess, kind of, it's not necessarily tied to the phrase sugarcoating something, which means to make it seem less bad than it really is, right? So it means something different, but it is kind of the same concept that brought about its they sugar-coated the pills effectively, but for his son. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, and this was like they truly did this. They were trying to get the vaccine out, this new version of it out, and get kids to take it.
Sure.
Sugar worked. Jeffrey recalled this memory later as shared on NPR's Morning Edition from January 8th, 2021. The article, His Vaccine Story Inspired His Father to Write a Disney Classic by Joe Corona, also tells that Robert and Richard wrote the famous song the very next day. Mary Poppins was one of those films that are referred to as an instant classic. People fell in love with the mischievous yet loving nanny, as well as the music, and that's not hard to believe with Julie Andrews in the lead role.
Cool, I'm glad it wasn't just me.
We don't have to look beyond this origin to find how the phrase became figurative, as the song itself did that for us. In the film, Mary Poppins sings the song as she gives a spoonful of medicine to each of the children, but also as she guides them through cleaning their room and doing other tasks that are not very enjoyable. People quickly began using the phrase in their day-to-day lives. We're going to look a little bit more at this story of this origin story and some of the things surrounding it in our behind the scenes, which airs each Friday on Patreon, and that's at patreon.com/bunnytrailspod. A great example of this usage appeared in the 1967 convention proceedings of the International Union Allied Industrial Workers of America.
That's a mouthful. You got it in one go, too. Wow.
Thanks. I even shortened it. So these are public proceedings that were held under the umbrella of Congress. So here's one excerpt. Quote, "I have a musical background, and I would like to say this. There is a song that goes, 'A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. But perhaps there is too much vinegar in this resolution,' end quote." So this is only 3 years after the movie came out.
Wow, so it really did make it made its presence known pretty quick.
Pretty quickly, yeah. This is just one example of how the phrase is used figuratively, and it's still presented in this way today. Up next, we'll look at how the phrase is used today, but first, a quick thank you to our sponsors.
This episode is brought to you by our amazing patrons on Patreon. It's 100% free to join the Bunny Trails community, so give our weekly discussions and poll questions a try.
If you love our content and want more, we have some paid tiers too, including early access to the week's episode, a weekly behind-the-scenes video, and original digital artwork once a month made by me.
You can also get awesome name recognition like Pat Rowe and JGP do every episode. And our top spot is currently occupied by the amazing Mary Hulsig Lopez. You can join the Bunny Trails community for free at Bunny Trails Pod on Patreon. That's patreon.com/bunnytrailspod.
Spoonful of Sugar is a podcast to help the medicine go down. Created by Ria Mulherkar, the show is in season 4. Here's the description of the podcast from their website. Quote, Spoonful of Sugar is a podcast made for medical students, by medical students, to help the medicine go down. Each episode will review important topics in a question-based format so that listeners can test what they know. Our material is primarily geared towards students preparing for USMLE and COMLEX, but of course we invite all levels of medical professionals to take a listen. In Season 2, we started the Clinical Concepts series, which covers material that is more clinically oriented to help transition knowledge from textbooks to actual clinical practice, end quote.
What are the USMLE and COMLEX? Are those tests
Those
or something?
are specific licensure tests
I
that
see.
medical students take. So,
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
this actually sounds like a really helpful podcast for people who are in that field. So. Spoonful of Sugar is a 2023 movie on Shudder. Here's the synopsis. Quote, Millicent, working on her thesis about children with severe allergies, is hired to babysit little Johnny, a sickly, mute child who suffers from every allergy under the sun. As she discovers Johnny's dark family secrets, things begin to become unhinged, end quote. This movie looks exceptionally creepy.
Okay.
As a warning.
I will not watch it then. I do not like horror movies.
Yeah, I will say there's drug use depicted as well as implied sexual scenes. Viewers who like this style of creepy psychological thriller seem to have enjoyed it. So if it's your thing, there you go. Spoonful of Sugar Designs offers sewing patterns, a blog, newsletter, and more things related to sewing. The creator, Lisa, also authored a book titled A Spoonful of Sugar, Sew 20 Simple Projects to Sweeten Your Surroundings Zaka style. The pattern shop is really fun, with things ranging from traditional items like small totes and pouches to placemats and coasters to more stylized patterns like a dice bag you could use for something like D&D.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. Spoonful of Sugar is an art print by Emma Campbell out of County Kildare in Ireland. The work is an abstract piece in bright colors of turquoise, pinks, orange, yellow, and more with accents in white and black. The piece incorporates flowers and music notes, and it just feels very bright and fresh and happy.
It does feel that way, although I've been to County Kildare in Ireland, and it was very green and very bright, but I don't remember seeing this much color in there. But maybe I wasn't there while the flowers were in bloom, and maybe that's what gives it the color.
Yeah, I do love there are these little flowers on this one kind of bush or tree or something, and they look like little pink fairies. They're just like dancing around. They're really cool.
It was Ireland, so there's a lot of Celtic tradition there. So it might have been actual
They probably
fairies that were
fairies.
they're just doing the Woody and Buzz thing from like Toy Story, where like you looked and so they have to hold real still, and you're like, oh,
yeah.
look at those flowers for sure. And they're all like, hey, stupid human.
Yeah, I'm just like lucky I didn't get kidnapped to the fairy realm or whatever.
In my view, the Fae are not kind. So
no,
that is
tricksters.
in my head. Yeah, very trickstery. I'm not going for this Disney Tinkerbell princess, kind of thing.
Well, she was not exactly like. I mean, she was picky about who she was nice to.
that is true. That is true.
Yeah. Well, that's about all we have for today. If you have any thoughts on the show or pop culture references we should have included, reach out to us on Patreon. patreon.com/bunnytrailspod, or comment on our website, bunnytrailspod.com.
It is poll time. Recently, we asked our patrons, what is your favorite small joy in daily life? The winner with 43% of the votes was morning tea or coffee. Nearly 30% chose enjoying a good show, book, podcast, or movie, and the rest were split between a walk or fresh air and pet time.
I am in complete agreement with JGP, who said, quote, morning coffee is more than a small joy in daily life. It is a necessity, end quote. Coffee and tea definitely feel like necessities for existing as a human. For me, on work days, though, a walk or fresh air are my go-to. Books, podcasts, and music get my vote for the weekends.
Well, Cheryl went with pet time, sharing, quote, the most relaxing time for me is sitting with my parrot and giving scritches. End quote.
Parrot scritches?
Parrot scritches sounds amazing. Yeah. Alan said, quote, I really enjoy my morning coffee and sometimes also tea. I'm on a temporary contract right now, and a few of us will often go for a walk at lunch. It really improves the day, especially since I don't have a window. End quote. My most frequent small pleasure is my morning coffee or tea. I just like having a relaxing moment or two to start the day rather than getting up and going, full bore into something. Well, as a reminder, our silly polls mean absolutely nothing and are not scientifically valid. Patrons of all levels, including our free tiers, can take part. Head over to patreon.com/bunnytrailspod to take this week's poll. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you again next week. Until then, remember, birds belong to their users.